Let's see. I think I'm on. Right. Sorry. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to yet another live. And I am going to put on something here to get me organized because I just launched and I wasn't paying attention, not realizing that I'm already live. All right, so here we go. All right. Just sorry, that's the wrong clip I am picking on there. Sinead. All right, so let me say this and then I'll open up with that clip that I was about to get. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good night, good morning in some places. Sorry if I start a little fuzzy, but I was doing something and was not able to access a site and it kind of threw me off. Anyway, I'm now ready and I'm going to start rolling. I am going to open with a clip from Jamaica's opposition leader, Mark Golding, and he's addressing Dr. Peter David Phillips, the former opposition leader. So just watch this, listen to this, pay close attention, and I'm coming right back. I'm going to share this with everybody right now while you watch. All right?
Peter, I think this is a special occasion for you because we don't know what the future will bring, but it could be the last conference that you sit as Member of Parliament for this constituency that you've served for nearly 30 years and have served so well. And you know, politics is a strange business and things don't always work out as they should or as people expect. But one thing I know for sure is that when the history of the current period of Jamaica is written, your name will stand tall among all as somebody who made a huge difference to the future of this country. I don't think people adequately realize what you did. And of course, you've served in government for many years and distinguished yourself as an excellent minister in many different portfolios, from health to transport and others. But my close knowledge of it was when you were Minister of Finance and Planning in the last PNP administration. And it was a time when Jamaica had been dogged with chronic debt problems for decades, and where the public debt had been run up under the previous JLP administration to unprecedented levels over the last few decades, and where when we came to office, the situation was so bad that the basic bills of the government had to be financed by the Bank of Jamaica, essentially printing money. And that was a slippery slope. We were in bad standing with the international financial community. The IMF program that had been signed off by the Bruce Golding administration had essentially crashed. They weren't passing, we weren't even taking any of the IMF tests. And our name was mud in Washington, D.C. And it took a year of hard work to build back the relationships that allowed us to go back into a very challenging program, which really most people thought Jamaica would never be able to succeed in because the requirements were so onerous. And you steered the ship of finance with tremendous astuteness, with a certain understanding of the power dynamics of the country, which came from your tremendous understanding of Jamaica's political history. And through the adeptness with which you handled that portfolio, Jamaica passed every IMF test under your watch. And by the time we demitted office in 2016, the public debt had been taken from 147% of GDP to 115% and was on a clear pathway towards sustainability. That is not something that had been achieved before in that way. It included things like a huge debt swap with the government of Venezuela, where they sold back debt to us at less than 50 cents in the dollar, in a very complex transaction that alone reduced our debt to GDP ratio by nearly 10%. And it was under your watch that that seminal transaction was executed. So, Dr. Phillips, there are not many people in politics who can really say that in 50 years' time or 100 years' time, their work will be remembered because it was transformational. But in your case, I can confidently say that that is going to be the case. That the work you did as finance minister for Jamaica will be remembered in the future for decades and centuries to come, because Jamaica has really conquered its debt problem. We're not out of the woods, but we have an overall framework that governs our public finances now, that assures that we will not get ourselves into the kind of problems we had in the past. And it is you who really brought that to fruition. So respect you, and I honor you tonight.
Okay. All right. So that is, for those who know him, that is Massa Mark himself, the present opposition leader. And to me, he is more like a wannabe than the opposition leader, because there's nothing about what he's doing is demonstrating that he has the competence or the ability to perform this function. Because why I've started out with him is because he has this statement that he made recently. He has been doing very badly in the polls. Before I go any further, I'm sorry to do this, but I have to stop. For those who have joined and those who will join, I'm going to ask you, which is very important this evening, we're doing quite well with this channel, and we're getting close. We're very close to a very special milestone that will help me to move faster when I come on, and sometimes I won't get these slip-ups when I first come on. So I'm asking you to please share, please subscribe, and please like. Like is very crucial, because like pushes you to the top of the search engine. Subscribe helps to make the channel grow. But when you like and it pushes it to the top of, or at the top ranking of the search engine ranking, then it helps to grow the channel faster. All right, so now let's go back to Massa Mark. So that was Massa Mark doing his thing. Some people, well, his real name is Mark Golding, but this is a very strange character, this Mark Golding guy, this Massa Mark. Massa Mark is an Englishman who somehow found himself in Jamaica, mainly because of his father. His father came to Jamaica. He ended up getting involved with the polio program in Jamaica. He was the primary person who was handling the polio program in Jamaica. He built the polio rehab center and all those kind of things. His name was Professor John Golding, and he, did pretty well in the Jamaican society. He found himself a wife in Jamaica, and like the juices that flows in Jamaica. And his son, it looked like this Massa Mark guy, looked like he inherited some of that from him. So, but the strange thing about him, he was elevated to this position only after 5 years in the party, or within 5 years of being pulled into the party. Some people felt like some special favors were done, or maybe it's part of the British Commonwealth system, because they gave us this thing that they call independence, but it was really not independence. We see the same thing playing out in Africa with the French colonies, where they tell them to get independence, but they were not really independent. And it has created a lot. It has created a lot of problems of late, because these French colonies are now rebelling and throwing off the yoke of French colonialism. We in Jamaica, we seem to be quite comfortable with whatever they have, the bill of lies that they sold us. And there was one person who came along, like Michael Manley, who came along, tried to, help us out of the situation. It took us to a few steps up the ladder. But of course, when you mess with these colonialists, they will destroy you. And obviously, that's what they did to Michael Manley. They destroyed him, pulled him down back from off of the ladder. Well, some of what he implemented are still in place because they are so, such great programs. So here comes the son, Mark, the son of John Golding, and he has somehow found himself in this position of leader of the opposition. Now, we in Jamaica, we like our opposition leaders, we like our politicians to have charisma. You cannot come to the table with a dull personality. They're not gonna go for it. They want you to have spark. When you come up to speak, they go crazy and they're excited. Michael Mann was one such person. And in his own right, Eddie Siaga, and even Patterson, which wasn't not the most exciting, but because he knew what to say to people, he understood the people, he understood the electorate, and he knew exactly what to say to them, and he excited them in a way. But the greatest of them all in exciting the crowd was Madame Portia Simpson Miller, Ma P, as she has now affectionately come to be known. But Mark had stepped into the ring after a Portia Simpson Miller. Peter Phillips was being lined up. Dr. Peter Phillips was being lined up. The person he was glowingly talking about just now. He was not the most charismatic personality, but smart. He's a very technical, he's a technocrat, very calculated, very, exact and precise in whatever he does and says. So he tends to have that slow kind of speech like, say, a Barack Obama. When they take some time before they say what they have to say. But when they say it, they're on point. And people love them for that. So some guys formed this group within the People's National Party, a group they call RISE. When they were coming, you had RISE United, and which we call RISE United Movement, which we now call RUM or RUMP, because we say RISE United Movement Party is RUMP, or if you just stop at RISE United Movement, it's RUM. And some people within that group, they really love rum. They love the rum. So it's a rum party. They love to drink it. Now they pretty much went to work, did what I call an institutional coup, which we have learned from the Africans, which is what's happening in Africa when people keep themselves in power, by pulling out all kinds of stunts, pulling off all kinds of stunts, things like change the constitution so they can stay in power. And some of them stay in power for 30, 40, 50 years, as we just saw recently with this family named the Bongo family. But the people got to a point where the military, some people in the military saw the suffering of the people and went in and pulled them down. So here comes this rum party. They went up, they pulled the tricks, they pulled off something, and they took control of the party. First, they challenged Peter Phillips, and in challenging Dr. Peter Phillips, the same man who is now talking glowingly about him, they pulled him down because he said he was no good. He was not, he was a waste man. He was everything, called him all kinds of names, and threw him out, tore him up, tore him down, pulled him down like the way they were pulling down these statues. And now here he comes, I open with it, him speaking glowingly, because you know what? He's going nowhere. And the one person he thinks if he would hang on or show himself attached or associated with this person, the one person who could help him somewhere, or if people fall for the trick, is Dr. Peter David Phillips. If the people get to the point where they want to say, we want to look at him or give him some chance, his record is so bad. But if people have now come to learn, really understand Dr. Phillips, and if it's because Dr. Phillips is so so much a valid person now because he bailed out Jamaica along the way, that he's become so valuable that this Masamak guy is now seeing the value in him, and he's trying to hang on to him. So what he did, he went to the constituency which Dr. Phillips is getting ready to retire from, and he went here and he made this very glowing speech about him. So that to me is one of the strange occurrences. This Then there's another part to this Masamak story. Besides him giving this glowing speech about um, Dr. Peter David Phillips, he made this very strange statement. He made a very strange statement. He was being interviewed, and he said he's not interested in being popular. Now you have to really wonder, what is he talking about? He said he's not interested because guess what? Is the highest he has shown in the polls was about 18%. Just maybe about a year ago, or under a year ago. It's under a year ago. He showed that he started out when he took over the party, he had a 18% likability rating. And by the time, it was about 3 or 4 months after, they took another poll. And by then, when people started to see him and realize he's not what he, as Donald Duck would say, he's not what he quacked up to be, or what he made himself give the impression that he was this, brainiac, as some people say. And people realizing, have come to realize that he's not all that smart. So I was one person who kind of used to look at him and say, yeah, he could be probably a good replacement. But when you get to start listening to him and he's not saying anything and he's talking some nonsense all the time, then he pushes, like we say, pushing foot in his mouth and suffer from this thing what I'm called foot and mouth disease, when he talks some crazy stuff and get himself in trouble and he has had to be apologizing. People start pulling back, including myself, when I say, no, we can't work with this. But what happens is that when you give a person like that control, the reign of a party like the PNP, you're going to have to really come hardcore to move him out. And he's hanging on. He has strapped that rein around his hand and lashed it around his waist, and he has lashed himself to the chariot. He's not coming off. And he has even claimed it to be his own. He said, this is the Mark Golding train. And if you are not willing to work with my program, get off. I don't need you. And when people are talking back him, say, shut him out, keep him out, shut up and sit down, that kind of thing. So he has gotten the part of him that was like annoying and gnawing like a rat gnawing at a piece of rope, that it was in your brain and tell you something is wrong with this man, it started coming out more and more. So he went out and he said that he's calling on the dead to come vote for the party, which is why I think we just blew up, because this is like a total illegal, no nonsense. So now, before he even made them more recent silly talk, he said some other things, and people start pulling away from him. So he dropped from the 18 points to about 14 points likability. And the last poll that was done back up in July or something like that, it was down to about when was down to something like 12. It was down to 12 points. And I'm pretty sure if you take a sample now, a polling now, it's going to be somewhere about between 6 and 9%. That's where it's going to fall. So one of these radio stations decided to interview him. It was a Gleaner. The Gleaner interviewed him and to try to get to understand him. And he told the Gleaner that he's not interested in popularity, in being popular. And so that we have a problem because he's not interested in how is it that a man who wants to run a party is polling at 12% and likely to poll at between 6 and 9%. How is he going to carry the party? You need a leader of the party to carry the party. This is why even here in America, Joe Biden is running into trouble, because the shine has gone off of Joe Biden. His age, the aging is showing more and more. It has taken the workers taking its toll on him. He's looking more aged now than ever. The most recent poll I saw is that Joe Biden and Donald Trump are even in the polls. And that is not good for those who want to see the back of Donald Trump. So that is where the situation is, that he's not doing any good. And to justify or to, his being in charge, him say he's not interested in popularity. He says, the person is writing the story. It's almost 3 years ago, after an unexpected rise to the pinnacle of the People's National Party, Mark Golding is pinning his electability on the electorate's perception of his competence, honesty, and legislative record. No, this is a man who was part of the cadre or the catalyst that pushed for the removal of Dr. Peter Phillips. No, Dr. Phillips has kind of moved on, and he has asked us to just move on and join up with Mark. But we are not sheep to just follow along but by anybody's command. What we look for, we are looking for something in a person that we want to be our leader. We are the people, and we want a certain person. And if we don't see it, it doesn't matter that we see Dr. Phillips as one of the greats, and we want to give him a lot of credos and respect and all of that. What we need is somebody to show us that they have the mettle to take us into battle and to win, and this guy's not showing any of it. Let me go one more at this paragraph. It said Golding, whose positive favorability rating has not topped 15% in the last two publicly released Don Anderson polls, has admitted that he has no issues being perceived as an average leader if the country's main opposition party remains ahead in the polls and ultimately forms the next government. But he has another story coming, because the leader of the governing side, Andrew Holmes, he's working overtime, going flat out to make sure that he puts back his party in office. And he's spending and he's putting no money and he's doing everything. He's messing up in the process too, but he's pushing to say, we are going to win, and he's working, and he has a purse string, and he can spend any amount of money to do it. So people have short memories. Sometimes they can be going through the worst of times, but if you find a way to give them something that will make them feel good, they will just forget the pain and move on and go back and do the same thing. And I've seen it happen over and over and over. We saw it even while the PNP ruled for 18 years. Every time when people thought it would be the end of the PNP, and Patterson spent some money and did a tricks, he was after the races again and winning again and win. And one and served up like between 18 to 20 years, something to that effect. So Mark Golding thinks that the parties that loved, that he's just going to ramp home with it. One of the problems happening right now with the party, there is the schism, the crack in the ranks. It has not healed. And so some people who decided, you know what, we're just going to put our whatever we have, our personal feelings aside, and we're just going to throw our lots behind Golding. Well, one such person is Phillip Paulwell, which is one of the things I want to discuss this evening. One such person is Phillip Paulwell. And Paulwell is one of the most feared person in the ranks of the riser movement, which is now in charge of the party, the wing of the party that is in control. The risers are in control. And the riser people hates Phillip Paulwell. Phillip Paulwell is such a, what them say, they consummate, the everything man for the PNP. He's a PNP at heart. Him loving PNP, him love the people, he has done well for the country. But he has made some missteps in the past, and they use it and hang it about his neck like a millstone, and they, and just keep reminding him over and over. Well, one of the unfortunate things that happened to him, he was reported by same people, his own people. They reported him to the American embassy, and he actually lost his visa one of the time. No, Paula's mother lives in the States, And Paulwell could not come to see his mother. I think he had a sister who actually died. He couldn't go to the funeral because he was under some kind of restriction, maybe worldwide. Because anything, if America gets the what we call influenza or whatever, some minor cold, the whole world is infected by it. So Britain and all whoever else, they blocked him so he couldn't travel for a good number of years, about 2 years, and he missed his sister thing. And it came out by the revelation made by the ambassador of the United States, one of the ambassadors of the United States. His name is not with me right now, but he came out and said that it was stunting who gave up Paulwell and ratted out on Paulwell. I want to do something while I'm here. I'm going to see if I can do it quickly without interrupting anything. But that ambassador gave him up and said he's the one who ratted him out. And he found out that Paulwell was not the worst person in the world. And with that, let's see if I can find what I'm looking for right now. With that, first, I don't think he's going to do it, but I send it to him, and then I'm going to send. Just two things I'm saying. Just bear with me one quick second. So, all right, here it is. I don't know. All right, I just sent out 2 invitations to 2 people, and if they feel like coming on, please just click on that link and you can join me. Because I didn't get an indication that they would be coming, but I'm just leaving it there. As I say, leave it right here or leave it right there. And if they feel like coming on, they will log on and then come talk, because it would be very good if they could make it on. So back to the thing where the ambassador gave up these people, stunting and whoever else, that they are the ones who caused Paulwell to lose his visa. No, that is one of the egregious acts that they pulled off against Paulwell. Paulwell didn't give up. He decided to go, throw his Latin with them. He even stopped doing his program, that the connection boss. He stopped doing that because he wants to show unity. He wants to stay behind them, stay with them. He wanted to remain a part of them. And he did that. And so then the next situation recently that came up now, the most recent, most egregious act done by these same Riser people. Something happened. We haven't gotten to. I don't think we have gotten to the fullness or the end of the middle or anywhere close to the end of what happened. But there's a report coming out where Phillip Paulwell's 10-month-old baby girl and the baby's mother were kidnapped yesterday morning, sometime, I don't know if at 7 o'clock yesterday morning, somewhere in that time of the morning. They were kidnapped. And I'm telling you, you would not, for those who have seen the story, I'm going to go over onto where I can see, yeah, I think some people are commenting. So let me go where the comments are being made, and I'm going to go here so I don't have to push my face up into this thing. I want to go to, let me just find where the comments are being made. And 1 second, with my comments, I'm not seeing them. But anyway, yeah. I think I have to push up my face and try to see what people are saying. So Royal Jamaican thing, Karen is on. Welcome. Thanks for joining, Karen. Joe Biden will be fine. Karen is saying Joe Biden will be fine. And then I want to think so too, Karen. I want to agree with you. And then she said Mark Bolin is in worse shape than Joe. True. And but it's just to kind of make a little comparison to say how things can fall apart then. Because with a Barack Obama, if a Barack Obama had the successes that Joe Biden has been having, with almost a 0% unemployment rate and all kinds of good things that he has done, he would have been, running laps around, say, Donald Trump. But anyway, maybe let's when it gets to the election and we all start working, then, we should see improvement. But the thing that I'm saying is that this guy, this party, which has now done this thing to been doing these wrongs to Phillip Paulwell. And a man was brought a lot of good to Jamaica. He has a lot of value. He has given us a good telephone system. He did things with the energy system. He almost brought us down to one of the lowest prices in the cost of electricity. But since he left, it has shot up back, quadrupled. He did the connection he has with somebody like Maduro in Venezuela. He brought some value to the thing, so we could have gotten a good deal. And these bunch of waste people, to me, these are some waste people in the PNP who have set out to destroy this man. Now, we don't know yet what caused this, who did the kidnapping, what is really there. But sorry, I didn't print off one of the things. If you see the things that some of these people are saying, they're actually celebrating it. You have a bunch of people who, when they see it, they have set off some people in the PNP. They are making some people in the PNP so mad. The women are so mad that some people who weren't even looking at Phillip Paulwell seriously, they're now realizing, this might be the person to rally behind, but Phillip has to come to his senses and really step away from these people, because what is so weird is last night, maybe it's weird, maybe it's like prophetic, I don't know, because I didn't hear anything about the situation last night, but there was a great live session that took place last night where the name of the program, and if you get a chance and you search for it in probably Facebook, I don't know where else Natalie put it, but the name of it is Bloggers Cafe. And in participating in that cafe discussion last night, I was saying to the people, I don't know. I think Phillip Paulwell is one of the person we could really be looking at. But, we don't know them. There's so much team already. And they're trying to destroy him. And lo and behold, this morning, I can't say it because of what I said it happened, because it happened in the morning and we were on last night. But when I look at this, I said, oh my God, look at this. The people are there, their own person, a person who can give them a lot of credibility, a bigger chance, a better chance. They are there talking some of the nastiest things about him, unbelievable things, nasty things. They bringing out some filth, nothing which bears no truth. You see where they went after him first. They broke into his banking account, broke into his email, and this is something they are known to do in the past. So people know them because they know their track record. They know that they were there. They the great what the people them call it, I think it WhatsApp leaks and our kind of email leaks. That's what started off the whole war in the party. And so they know how to get into people's account. They got broken there. And I hope Phillip will get the people who are investigating the banking scam, with the scammers who try to break in and steal his money. I hope he can get them to investigate and trace it and find those people, because they are devious, wicked people, and somebody needs to expose them. Because the things that they are doing, this is like a baby, a 10-month-old baby is gone missing. That means this baby needs care and close attention. And I'm hoping whoever is holding on to this baby and the mother, that they're making sure that they're getting the best of care, because God help them because they will be found. I'm pretty sure those people will be found. Somebody's going to somebody saw something and somebody will report, and somebody's going to be arrested sooner or later. And they better hope and pray that they keep those people are in the best of health. Because don't forget, Phillip Paulwell is still a government man. He is part of the system. And I don't think he's the kind of person, I think, well, let me put it in a more positive way. I think Phillip Paulwell is one of those people that Andrew Holness would go to him way to make sure him get justice. Because he's not the guy who goes and makes trouble or give ruffling the feathers and give anybody or badmouth anybody. So he's always speaking nicely to the Prime Minister. So I know, and I watch the relationship between him and Holness and the rest of the people in the Parliament. People respect him. Two people are respecting that Parliament, if if I want to take a chance at calling some names. And that is Phillip Paulwell and Dr. Peter Phillips, two of the most highly respected people in the parliament. And for them to be talking and doing what they're doing and saying the things they're saying, it is just ridiculous. I want to sort of keep things all right. So now I want to not let me see what time is this now. Before I go, it's actually it's 9:38. And I want to just remind people, please, we need your support tonight. I need at least 10 subscribers, 10 people to subscribe. If you come on, you see this program, I need for you to subscribe. I need for you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make a comment if you wish. I welcome all comments. And I see somebody is coming down, Colin White. True, Paulwell is a respectable person. True, they respect him in the parliament. I watch him all the while. I watch the interaction between him and the other people. You all ever see people being rude to him or because the thing, just like a Peter Phillips. Peter is the only man who I saw him to stick up a finger in the ear after them, and it was all fun, you understand? Because people respect him for what he did, and Phillip Paul is that kind of person. Now, I don't think Philip would do them kind of things like a Peter Phillips, but they get respect. And for them to be speaking to Peter, to Phillip Paulwell like that, speaking about him, doing the things they are doing, and think that people are going to love them because sooner or later, I'm not going to put it out there, but sooner or later, the world, Jamaica is going to hear about it. And they are going to regret it. Those people who are doing, because the only way, something, very early in the game, I had a chance to talk, exchange some words with Phillip Paulwell, and I told him, man, you gotta blow up the thing, start it over. And he was, no, you don't want to do that. You want to, work with it and let it settle down because he prefers to be in there as a member of parliament than out there as just opposition thing, and better keep it cool and make everything go through. It's not working. It's not working. If you had blown it up in the beginning, the first month, when we realized that some shenanigans went on with the thing with Lisa, with that competition with Lisa, we would have been settled down, would have been healed, and the wounds would have been healed by now, and we'll be looking at each other in a better light. Right now, we're in a bad place because you have some snakes in that party, worse than snakes, and viperous serpents in there. They're just not real. And they are working overtime to think. I was going to say something about when I was talking last night, and I say, something? I have a suspicion that Peter Phillips' problem was caused by poisoning. I think he was poisoned. And that, the way how these people are behaving, I'm more inclined now to think so, that he was poisoned in that place with those people. And, because good thing is he's getting good reports from his doctors. The doctors are happy about how things look. And that's what kind of made me start thinking, something. This thing, I don't want to put no name to anything and call any names about him. But whatever they were saying that he had in the beginning, I'm thinking that was a poison game that went down. Somebody poisoned him. And so, but let me move a little bit away from this. Maybe I might get a chance to come up here. I want to make sure we're getting every, I have a couple of things that pointers that I want to touch on. Now we're talking about these teachers who took off. 1,000 teachers took off from the education system. Let me see who this is. Paulwell set the pace for the technology advancement. True. That's why rump risers getting exposed for their bile attacks on the comrades. Time come to expunge risers, yes. And so, I want to look at the thing with the teachers. But to leading into along with the teachers, the problem that we see developing now, these young people, they have taken on to this thing with them called the dunce culture. They are celebrating being dunce. The young boys are coming out. It has been happening for a while now that the girls are doing good. They're moving into the university. Must say like 60, 70, 80% of the people, students, are cohorts of, the last maybe few years of students coming into the thing, into the universities are girls. And the boys are falling behind. Now them celebrating this dunce culture. And along with that, you have in the government side this wicked set of people who are running the country who refuse to get the teachers even a 30 or a 40 or 50% increase. They said, no, you get 10%, and you better be satisfied. And they even had the people of the country turning against the teachers, making them look like they are some wicked people. And they said, you know, we're not giving you any more money. You get enough and be satisfied, and you take it, or otherwise we're going to take it back. And we put in so much $1 billion on the table. No, them other thing with them play with the people's minds like they did with that 18,000. But them tell the people, them said them all get 18,000. The same teachers gave up their rights, gave up them, and went after the 18,000. And it probably cost them more in taxes in the end. So we see the teachers, 1,000 of them, they got the money, they get the back pay, and they just take flight. The first flight, one of the 7 flights, I don't know, probably have more than 7 flights now, out of the country, gone. And school now is now open. But what we see happening now is the little boys, them, pray God the girls, I'm not involved in it. The little boys, them buying the knapsack. And again, I messed up. I should have taken a snapshot of the damn thing with the little boy walking on the street. But I thought it was a joke. But it's a serious matter. The little picnic, them little boy, them buying the bags, and the parents are buying the bags, marked dunce. They said they brought in a big shipment of these bags, or they manufacture a big number of these bags. All of them sold out. They're all sold out. Let me just get this Colin saying there is no more PNP. The new name is Rise United, led by Massa Mark and Peter Bunting, backed by Angela Brown Burke, Ian Hales, and the Sissy Dayton, the Daytona Mouth Grumble. So now, you see, so the little boy them have weird bags. The parents went out, bought these bags, these dunce bags, to hang it on their backs, to walk around as dunces. And one teacher come out and say, no way, Jonathan Grant School, I think the man is from, and again, I couldn't print out the damn thing, so I don't have his name right now. The man said, you're not coming in here with it. Do you know you have a set of people named JFJ, Jamaica for Justice? It's the stupidest set of people I've ever seen anywhere in the world. You have young people coming who need guidance. One of the things you have to learn about young people, while they might rebel when you're talking to them, they love it, they respect it, they want you to speak to them, they want you to talk to them, they want you to scold them, they want you to guide them, they want you to correct them. They pretend they will frown and face to something at you, and you say fit at you and carry on. But then if you get close to them and talk to them, they'll tell you they love it, they appreciate them, they say your parents love them, that's why they do it. And these silly, stupid dunce parents going out there, they pick them got some of the best schools, them getting some of the best schools, and them go up and buy bags with my dunce on it and think those kids gonna do good. What kind of parents are you? You're supposed to be putting things in front of them and behind them and make them understand, so them greater than anything that they're saying. What lies within me and what lies behind me are greater. What is inside of me is greater than all those things. What lies behind me and what lies in front of me, what is in me is greater than all those things that have gone and that will come, because I'm going to be creator. I'm a creator. I was born here with greatness. You understand? So this thing of them putting this nonsense inside of your children to tell them, and I'll touch on the JFJ, I'll go back to them. The idiotic JFJ is ready to take them to court, so you're challenging them constitutional rights. Children don't have that kind of rights, no constitutional rights that you're going to stop them from learning or seeing themselves as better than whatever they do, them circumstance, whatever the circumstance them born up in. One thing we can tell you, me have a father, and me ever show up with him anywhere back in the days. I make my father see me have something like that on my back the last day me living in the world. The man, they never play. You understand? Them never played. They wouldn't have none of that. And these parents, these people who call themselves parents, who will go out, they spent $11,500 for the cheapest bag to put on their children's back, saying they are dunces. Nobody's going to respect them. And they're not going to respect themselves. And they're going to go in the classroom and fight the teacher because they have an idiot for a parent. And the parent has to set the tone. You have to lay down the rules, not the children. So for you to take $11,500, instead of you go buy some books and some tapes or something and try help the kid, you go take the money and go buy the 11,000. And there's some of the bags more expensive. One will say dunce, one will say dunce, and one say totally dunce or fully dunce. You pay more for that. That's where Jamaica is. That's the mentality of the country. And that's why you can have a numbskull like a Mark Bolling come and say he want to come run the country. Because the man is telling him he want to run the country. But he has not shown anywhere. He has not brought any policies. He has not revealed any program. He has not unveiled any programs, no policies, nothing. Him just saying he want to win. Him just want to be prime minister. And him not care if him popular, him not popular. The party will bring him. How are you going to win anything with that? You think Portia Simpson Miller, if it was for Portia Simpson Miller, the party would not ever won back anything. And it's because of them same people, them same rights people who undermined her, who told her and put her in a position, even when they knew that she needed some kind of special attention, they encouraged her to stay there so they could take control. And they grabbed it and they grabbed control. And there was nobody to fight to take it back from them because everybody was scared and allowed them to take over. And so let me see, that's 9:50. Let me see, kidnap mother, Golden not interested in it. Right. So the whole thing is that we are up the creek without a paddle. The country is up the creek without a paddle. Because this thing of allowing these children to have their own way like that, to take control of the parents and to go along with them and tell them buy these bags, branding themselves as dunces, and expect that when the police sees them, they're going to have any respect for them because the policeman is a human being and he's going to react to the thing. And all I'm going to see, if you say you're a dunce, then you're also a criminal. You know, I'm going to see with this person I'm calling again. You say they undermine Portia and also Peter Phillips. Yes, but that both people are destroyed. I know I got inside hearing from the horse's mouth from some of them who said they would not give Portia Simpson Miller 1 red cent when she wanted to run the local government election because that would have brought her down. You know what is the sad part for them? Is the same local government election going to destroy them because you have a local government election coming and some people are predicting that it would come before December. But one thing Bogard tell you, him say, him not going past February of 2024 without the local government election. So right now, over there, 9 months, that's 3 months in the year, plus 2 months. So within 5 months of having a local government election, 5 months is no time at all. It might sound like it's long, but before you know it, we're in Christmas and we're getting ready. And some people are saying that they believe it's going to happen before Christmas because, you know, the merchants they don't like when they keep elections during the December month. So we don't have no Thanksgiving in Jamaica. So, you know, November no matter to us. So you might get it in November. Maybe with some kind of break or school break, them get some kind of school break and you have it. Or I don't know if they run it like up your way, you get some midterm break. I don't know if that is in Jamaica. But, you know, you could see that election before Christmas, long before Christmas, because the merchants who control everything in Jamaica, them no want to see nothing from getting out of the way of them money-making season. And so it is going to think. as I said, before, as I was looking at how the time is running, it's now we have 8 minutes. I want to back out of here by 10 o'clock. I don't like going past an hour. But I just want to, at this time again, I want to ask people to please subscribe, please share, please like. Subscribe and like are the two critical ones, because subscribe, it helps to push me into that um, zone that I can get more exposure, and the like will push the thing up to the top of the search engine, and that helps also. But these are the things that I'm looking at, and I just don't even know how they're going to manage this year with, because last year they had a bunch, not even, not, it was not as much as 1,000 left. It might have been 200 or 300 left last year. The teachers, when they left, might have been 200 or 300 of them. And if you recall, you remember the fights, how many fights broke out in the classroom because they were bringing inexperienced teachers in the classroom for kids who are thinking in a whole different way, kids who think they can walk around and call themselves perfect, totally dunce, sitting at the back of the class with no subjects. No, every kid who know Jamaican education system, where you're always competing to get subjects, get plenty subjects, and and yeah, I have to read some of this. They we used to, the big pride and joy when you go to school in Jamaica is getting these this is a backwards and serve a negative purpose. Exactly. And Karen, if you want to come on, just tell me yes, I will extend it for you. Because I'm telling you, I have a lot of respect for you women, yourself and Michelle and Nat Stacks, all know because I've been carrying the thing and keeping it alive for the past 3 years. I put my little cents in there, to about my 2 cents in there, but none of me I'm as effective as you guys. But if you're in the mood to say something, please just say yes, and I will send you the link fast because I set it up in a way that it can get to people. Um, yeah. So this thing of people thinking it's cute to have them children going around carrying a bag on their back, talking about perfectly done, to, totally done, sitting at the back of the class, no subject. What the hell is that? It's a lot of money we spend on education. And it is our responsibility, the adults of the society, it's our responsibility to educate them. We have to find a way to educate them, not get them to think that they're stupid. Because the worst thing, I worked in the classroom in this country, 7 years of it. So I know kids at different age group. I know them. And you have to find a way to make them know that you are the boss. You are in control. You can't go in there and play wishy-washy with them. You can't grab them. You can't, granted, me come from Jamaica. The early days, me to grab them, you know. And as a man, don't want to pick a route. You come from Jamaica, your mentality, but you learn after time, so you don't do that. And you better, try and find a way and make them know so you're the boss. You run things. And you have to make them not fear, but respect you. And they're always trying to test you. They're testing you. And so people like the JFJ, which one time they get what? They may get something like $250,000 one time after them destroyed Adams. And Adams, the policeman Adams, the senior policeman Adams. Them after them destroyed them, them get $250,000 and them went off in under the cellar go eat them food like dog will get fed and them shut up for a long time. No, you see people trying to, the man from Jonathan Grant is trying to fix the thing. Others have joined and say, yes, we're not allowing it. Them not, Jonathan Grant man said, don't even come through the gate with it. Some people I think might have said, don't come back here without your parents. That's the one I would go for. A parent who goes out to buy that bag, I would want to say that, bring the parent. Don't make him come back in the classroom if you don't come to the school year. If you don't show up with him, you must show up with him because you're going to educate both the parent and the student. You need to educate both of them because that It's what I come to discover is that everybody must work as a team: the parent, the student, and the teacher, and what I'm calling them, the guidance counselors. You must work as a team to make it work. Otherwise, you're building problems. Let me just see something here quickly. Mark in rises something. Leche, Natalie R. I don't know. Fully done. Mark dispute N.W. Manley being founder of PNP I think it's Princess all right in that, in 1938, but wants to be called president of the PNP and can't disprove the fact of Manley being founder. And then Your Majesty Karen, she said, it is backwards and serves a negative purpose. Yes. You see, so that to me, I believe Jamaican people, on the ones at home, me can stay out and me can blow on my trumpet and make some noise and get involved in anything, whatever me can do for things. But the people in Jamaica, you go and for rally on yourself, you have to form a posse, form some kind of thing and say, we are here to defend and to protect our children. It's their future. These people want to destroy. They want to come tell you about constitutional rights. Constitutional rights when them end up being fully done and go out there and go farm fool and police shoot them, and them end up in prison. And then you treat them in prison worse than all them want is to clap and straighten them up and make them know say you are the parent. And them say you can't lick them or you can't this. And them no gospel will come home with a bag on them back, say fully done. What the hell is that? I tell you, boy, me say bring back some of them old time people are gone out of the earth, man. Bring back all my mother and my father, and then come with that through my mother door with that. You mad? My mother would hear me, I'll sing something and say, stop singing that song, you better shut up and don't bother try sing that no more. You know, Princess parents who buy those bags are illiterate. True. Jamal return urgently needed. Yes. It's some illiterate minds to that. Tell the people for walk on them with a thing on them back, tell them fully dunce. What the hell is that? And spend so much money for it. That's alright, you know, what happened, my subscription ran out with the damn thing, and I could, let me see if I get it. I can get it on Observer, read it a little bit. Because the damn people are so stupid, come out with that nonsense, both fully dunce. You know, what are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? I'm not even seeing it now. I don't know what happened to it. But yeah, sorry I have to miss out on that. But the whole thing is it makes no sense. Absolutely no sense whatsoever. That we have these parents going out to spend $11,000. That is up somebody's weekly salary, that you know. After them take out the taxes and whatever them take out or whatever them have to pay them whatever the national insurance and all them kind of something. That is a parent's biggest thing. You go buy a bag for put on your child's back. Say them dunce. You're not a parent. And when you do that, you're going to pay later on for it. You're going to have to go look for your son in prison. Or go look on him on the slab as a gunman. We just get taken out by somebody or some police or something. You're not building no future for that kid. So people need to come to their senses, get real, start, talk to them children, tell them you cannot go, you're not going anywhere in life. Them not even, as somebody mentioned in that program last night, they're killing all of the technical schools. They take out the technical schools, so they're not training the children with practical kind of skills where them can go, whether it be bricklaying or tile laying or roofing or window something, or where them can work them hands because them not care about no book thing anymore. Which most of the world is moving away from too much of the book thing. But I can tell you, they have a system here where when the kids go to the high school, the last 2 years of the high school, they have an extended kind of school I know them as BOCES, BOCES. Forget it, no, Brookhaven, whatever. Um, and they have to go and do, whether it's auto mechanic, whether it is what I'm called siding, where you put on the siding on the buildings, or roofing, or electrical work, or auto mechanic, or something where they work with their hands. They must go through it. So when they leave the high schools here, they have a skill. They can go straight into work. They are doing that in a way with whether something in your heart, but you still have to come out with a subject and thing. You could take some time out of the day. That's why I said these guys now I'm not planning. Maybe you're gonna hear them coming with it now. Because them what's his name coming up, conference coming up next week. So I might hear them joke it inside as some little nonsense document that I'm going to present and say, yes, we're gonna do this with the school because them hear me say it right now. But you need a program to start preparing these young men, in particular, young women too, because they can teach them whether they hear dressing or the styling, clothing, whatever, whatever them call it, hot couture or whatever the big name is. You need to start training these young people, give them a skill, because if they're not interested, teach farming. As I've later saw two young girls this week who are doing farming, and I followed a lot of the things in Africa, and I've been seeing young men who are doing farming in Africa and becoming millionaires, because you get one good crop of when you have a 20, 30 acre and 40 and 50 and 100 acres in, and you whatever you have, you can become a millionaire just like that if you grow the right crop. That's why I carried that program last few days about susumba, because people are now growing susumba and making, because susumba is a very valuable product. We used to grow cotton in Jamaica. We used to grow long grain rice in Jamaica. We used to, well, we're gone with the cane thing gone out. We could still grow cane and make ethanol, but to make the IMF tell us to get out of it, because it could have supplement in the price of gas. Because we could have produced our own ethanol. We used to produce ethanol. The ethanol factory, I don't know if it's still running up by Rockford. So we could still have been producing sugar, the growing cane, and use it to make ethanol. But IMF tell them to do our nonsense, and they walk away from these things. Let me see what some of the last person saying here. Colin again. How can responsible parents allow their children to buy those bags? I think the government needs to open some parenting centers across the island. It's true. Remember, a lot of these parents, they got pregnant by sometimes them father, sometimes them brother, sometimes them uncle, sometimes some little worthless little man in the community. Hey, I see somebody calling who I can talk with. Let me open the phone for him. Peter, just give me one. Let me finish this talk. You know, them get pregnant early. The boys them get them pregnant and take off. There's no marriage because them not the thing is not conducive to families. They don't create anything for the young people. The housing, that is something I should have gone into some more again. The whole thing with this housing trust thing, where them take the money from the housing trust and put it in the general funds when they make them budget, and them not building any houses. Because what you should be doing, I saw a picture of one of those countries, Angola, where them get the chance to build a whole host of high-rise building, and then make it so that you have everything within. You have supermarket, you have theater, you have everything, cinema, you have playground, you have everything, parks, everything within the thing. And it is working beautifully for them. So they're not making anything. It's not conducive to family. They're not teaching them to be responsible wives and husbands, our partners, our spouses, whatever. The boys, them thinking must just impregnate the girls and just run off and leave them. And so the girls left struggling on their own. And so them not even them need to send them to somewhere to learn to be parents, because them go to the dance hall and they all the kind of craziness with them singing and doing in the dance hall. That is what is culture in them. That's the kind of culture that we are, all of even the great Buju Banton, it seems come out from time now and just wailing over it to say, boy, what is happening to the country? Nobody not in charge. Them not care. Let me just see. I'm going to bring in. Let me read this, Peter, and then I bring in. How can responsible parents allow their children to buy those bags? All right, I read that already. All right, Peter, what's going on?
Well, Mr. Perkins, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and well, I 100% agree with it. Nobody's in charge, Mr. Perkins.
Tell
There's no
you.
one in charge. It's like them take, as you said before, I'm glad they talk on the thing about the housing trust because them take the money from the people then in the housing trust every week. Before you even get your paycheck, the money come out of the housing trust, and then take that money, Mr. Perkins, put it in the general fund, and use it for God knows what.
It's not only it's not only the housing trust them ripping off, but what you're saying is true, and I want to expound some more on it too. Them take the money for the housing trust, put in a general fund. When Peter was there and he was trying to balance the economy, they brought in a thing, the gas
The
thing
hedge,
there, the
the
hedge.
hedge.
They brought in the hedge, and so you pay a small money, everybody pay a little money, and so it helps if the price of the oil goes up. It does not affect you, and if it goes to a certain amount, you can make money from it. If it go down too low, you tend to lose, which is the first time we did it and we had lost. But the way the oil price has gone past that now, we'd have made some good money. But the PNP got taken out of office right about that time, so we missed out on getting back that money. These set of guys don't believe in that, but I'm taking the money. The thing is, if you're not buying the hedge, you should have returned that money to the people. You should have stopped taking that money. All of that money that they have taken over the last 7 years, they need to return every red cent of it back. And I'm telling you, I heard this man was this lawyer, this FBI man, everybody know him, I forget his name now. But he was bringing somebody to court in Jamaica about some missteps. But I'm telling him a better deal would be to go after the government for the housing, raping of the people with the housing trust money. They're taking the money from the people's salaries. So they're taking housing trust money. And they're not building any houses. Them stop building houses. They
But
leave
Mr.
it
Perkins,
to the private sector to do it. Yes, man.
Mr. Perkins, the rest part of the problem. If you have Massa Mark as the person in charge of the opposition who keep him out when it comes to the housing
Them
trust
not,
money
but
comes
I'm
to the
telling
next.
because they did it too. That's why them can't talk. But I'm saying you could have still said, yo, this thing is we did it once when we need it. You don't need it anymore. When they did it that time, yeah, they it's in petrol carry would I'm not so sure about that. I'm not sure what you're saying, Princess. So if you can clarify it for me, the statement you're saying something, but it's not clear to me yet. All right, so you,
But,
they,
but,
you
but
yeah, I
Mr.
lost my
Perkins,
train of thought. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Perkins, as I said before, Massa Mark said him don't want, he's not going to be popular. Massa Mark wants to be unpopular. What Massa Mark wants to give the Jamaican people are the unpopular things. When he wants Mr. Perkins is to give the Jamaican people the unpopular things of high crime and even higher poverty. He
Mm-hmm.
wants to give the Jamaican people squatters who will come to capture them house, them land and them car, Mr. Perkins.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to give them dead people coming to rob them their boats
Mm-hmm.
because Master Mark knows that his death is very unpopular. So
Mm-hmm.
he's looking to come make the dead boat so he can win through the support of the unpopular. And what his father, Master Mark, refused to name the Tabernaries who is going to get
Yeah.
to run the country because he knows that these Tabernaries, these poverty pimps, will be very unpopular with the Jamaican people. That is why Master Mark won't name them yet. He's supporting them because it is very unpopular. What can say man will run to be unpopular? I mean, it's unpopular for to take people money from the housing trust and not build no house. It's unpopular, Mr. Perkins, will have to die crime. Man, I'm a thief and a robber people. Look what they do to Mr. Paulwell to law. Look at what they do to Mr. Paulwell.
Man,
And
them
man,
nest.
man, baby mother and baby, and nobody can find them. And this man say,
No,
unpopular.
because you didn't hear me. You probably I know you went to some party or something, but because you weren't hearing me when I was saying them on social media, I'm going to share some of it when I get a chance. Them on social media putting out oh my God, some of the things they're saying, and they're sending out all kind of trick postings. They're posting in WhatsApp, them posting things in email, saying some crazy things. And this is the man gave up his whole ambition of doing anything and put himself fully behind them. once upon a time I could get Phillip Paulwell to come on this program to talk. I'm not gonna say him refuse, but him just stay clear of me. You understand? Because him know how me talk. And them just they went. I tell you, it's unbelievable the way they have gone. And any one of them people on this thing who have seen it, any of them people there right now on the this chat, what through the chat can tell it. So them see some of it. I couldn't believe it. It's crazy. Them saying some things about the man, a respectable man like that, and a man was done so much. What if them do it to Dr. Phillips? And here is Massama come up and I talk about Peter Phillips. Like you think say it's a Jesus Christ, because only Jesus Christ knows the people carry on and worship. The way I talk about him, why him never know that when he was destroying the man's career and the man's health? Why never know? And that dunce, him is such a dunce, and it's him you want people to vote for? Give me one quick second. Hold the point. Let me just something. Princess Straight Note. She said the hedge fund Petra Carib, ethanol combined would see the cost of fuel cheaper. Holmes and Mark destroyed it all. It's true. All those things she mentioned. I'm telling you, we used to make the ethanol plant is out by Rockford. You understand?
But Mr. Perkins, remember saying no matter Martin going to be unpopular enough. So it is against the popular things, it's against the popular things, it is against the ethanol, it is against low crime, it is against creating wealth. In what the unpopular Mr. Perkins.
Yeah, him say popularity no matter to him, and that him just want the party win. As long as the party win, him not care, him not for be popular. So why?
So Mr. Perkins, if the party not have popular ideas, all the party will win.
Them have no ideas. They have not put out any ideas. It's not even popular ideas. No ideas. They have not put out anything. Nothing has come out of them.
Look at the program you did do last week about creating wealth. And you showed that 1,000 teachers them flee the country. What them tell you? Because it might be even more. 1,000 people flee the country.
As
you know what about Peter? The like Peter Maker, them not creating no wealth for them.
Them not giving them not money. What they're doing, they're not giving them the tools to create their own wealth. Because the government don't have to create wealth. You get them the tools. First, you get them an apartment. If they have 4 or 5 children, give them a three bedroom or you understand, or 4 bedroom apartment. So every child can have their own apartment. You know, the apartments, the rooms for the children doesn't have to be very big. You know, just give them their own personal space for them feel enjoy a sense of privacy. You get a better person out of that person who gets have their own privacy and learn to have privacy and then develop their own self rather than just on top of each other. They're not giving it, they refuse to, they should have been throwing up these apartments with the trillions of dollars that them are sitting down there doing nothing. They should have been helping the people, giving them these apartments. So, you know, because like I tell you, back in the days, I talk about a long time right now. Back in the 70s, because Siaga, they shut it down in the 80s. Up in the 70s, you were getting, early 70s and coming in, you were getting these units, all them Portmore and Edgewater and them places are $2,000 them used to sell for, you know. Edgewater house, I must say, $70 million to them now. So you know now, say any parent, anybody who was a person who bought those houses in that time and lived them life in those houses and them now retired or them now passing off out of the earth, the children are inheriting these things. And they can go and start a business. That's why you see so many young people out there starting business, because the mother dead left them, give them something, and them go to the bank and them can borrow money to start a business. If you are not giving people these same chances, because you shut them down, you move the we call it NHT away from NHT having full control and deciding who, you move it and farm it out to private banks, who more than likely are going to give the people a hard time. So this thing of when the people would have, because they don't want to take the responsibility of building the thing and even subsidize, because they have the money sitting there, and instead of build the house for the people, and the little people who are living at the zinc shack and the little rickety rack stuff for them as living in, you know, build anything for them, which, so this next set of parent who growing up these children in these ghettos, them now go have nothing to leave for the children. Because they were not given a chance to grab something and own something, which is what Peter Phillips, this is what Peter Phillips was all about. Peter Phillips preached that thing to say him want to give everybody, make them experience owning a piece of Jamaica. Before I come, Peter, let me just read one more thing, because I don't want, people are taking the time to write, to have to read something. Those in the PNP destroyed their own, and they are going to do the same thing to Damien Crawford or anybody else who want to be leader. No, but they've actually done it to Damien already, you know. That's why Damien is so gun shy of coming forward to participate, because the things and what they have done and said about him and done to him just barely, you know, hanging in there for thing. It's just the most destructive set of people. So,
Mr. Perkins,
yeah, go ahead,
that
sir.
is the part of the problem where you say before, you know. Why them have these children and going out so they want to be fully done? Because them not have nothing to hope for.
No.
The mother and father have nothing to give them.
No
hope. Other than little zinc shot and some chicken back. And when them keep them children, them say, listen, why am I going to school for? What am I going to school for? Because them can't see the access to success and to the creation of wealth of what their grandparents had, Mr. Perkins.
Yeah.
Because both the PMP and the GLP, them take the housing trust money, then give it to them Tapanaris friend under the bank them. The Tapanaris them talk about who's going to create the wealth. Then each of them Tapanaris friend and Tapanaris friend say, no, you're not doing nothing. You're not getting no house. You're not getting no land. You can't buy a car.
Yeah.
And then them take the Tapanaris and man and them say, no, keep on doing your poverty job. Right? Keep doing your poverty job. And that we will help you subsidize that. And when the people look on and say, but why would the children know Mr. Perkins come out and say, I want to go to school? The government come out and say, Mr. Perkins, but take the housing trust money. Take your housing trust money and not build no house.
Me say, me want the FBI man who is now a liar. Me want him seriously. Somebody tell him for me. Me want to talk to him. Because me want him, at the lawsuit them shall take out and carry it as far as the Privy Council. Because that will give him a big name, because them can bring down that deck of cards, that house of cards. Because them take the people. That's eh? What was that?
That whole house of cards.
Yeah. Bring it down. And because that nonsense of saying that you're not building no more house, you're going to take the money and make somebody out of private, so build some house for them for it. The amount of houses when Anthony Spalding was housing minister, when Peter Phillips was housing minister, the amount of house for them building at that place. And this I don't know. You know what? We're done. We don't want to lose no more.
Mr. Perkins, before me was finishing, I guess I said before that the Jamaica people don't realize it. Jamaica is the only country on God's earth that literally have a housing trust program. America has social security. We have housing trust.
Built by Michael Josh, created by Michael Joshua Manley, and that's why they're trying. That's why they're trying to destroy it. That's why we're not going to get no better under the PNP if by any such stroke of bad luck we get a Massama come run the thing. We now go build it because them don't like Michael Manley. Them not checking. Them hate him.
You know what, Mr. Perkins? You know why they hate Michael Manley? Because Michael Manley fought the Tapanaris. Michael Manley fought the poverty pimps. That's why Michael Manley bringing the housing trust. He was doing the Singapore Manley before Singapore.
Yep.
And no, the teacher them are leave. Them are free because them say.
Because them don't see any hope. That's the whole thing. They don't see any hope. Them can't own a house. Them can't buy a car. Michael Manley, they think so them could buy cars. He made it so they could buy cars. He made it so they could buy a house. He gave them some place to live and give them the chance to buy the thing. And all them have to do is put up the buildings, rent it to who now have the money right away, then pay 3 months of rent, and then you convert it to the mortgage down payment.
3 years what I rent, Mr. Perkins.
And fix it, and everybody would, and the place would have clean up, it would have look much better. But no, them hanging on to these lands downtown, them hanging on to the lands, even in the west of Kingston, them hanging on to them to give it to their friends, them Tapanari's friends. Yeah.
Them give it to them Tapanari, the poverty pimps, Mr. Perkins.
Yeah.
The
But
poverty pimps.
but
and them said the bank and them are the one them create. Them not creating nothing. Them are money spinner.
yeah.
These are money spinner, Mr. Perkins.
Exactly.
They're not creating anything at all. You see, let me tell you something. If the crime minister ever figure out and say, you know something, I'm going to put up some apartment buildings for teachers, for junior doctors, for policemen, for firemen, for people who work with the government who not get no big salary. And then they come and get 3 or 4 bedroom apartment, subsidized rent for 3 years, and that rent went turned into a down payment.
Them couldn't stop him. I'm couldn't stop him again. But Peter, I hear you. Them people I'm here, I'm hope those who are seeking to run this country and lead this country would have heard you too. I have to go because I have something to take care of this time of the night, a bunch of things to deal with. So I want to thank you for coming on. I know, and I promise to share some of the crazy stuff with the people I'm doing to Paulwell when I get a chance. All right. Thank you. Have a good night. Make we let it go now until maybe I keep promising Wednesday, and then when Wednesday come, I'll get caught up with stuff and can't do it. But hopefully I get a chance this week to continue. All right. We're going to talk soon. Thanks for calling in, sir.
No problem, Mr. Perkins. I want everybody share, like, and subscribe.
Exactly. We are doing good. We're looking good. We're getting there. And I need your support, your continued support in sharing, liking, and subscribing. Everybody, thank you all. Those who are still with me hanging, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming on. And we look forward to being with you again soon. Wednesday, if not 1 week time. But I'm going to try for this Wednesday for something. All right? Thank you all. Have a good night.